Are you serious? Are you serious? Get some coffee and calm down. This is why you can't believe the mainstream media. I mean, you talk about a pack of lies, or they're clueless. Dude, they're clueless. I'm going to give you an example, all right? Now, we had a meteorite that crashed into the ground over in Maryland, and this happened Sunday night around 5 p.m. Your local CBS News channel covered it and said meteorite could be blamed for the Bowie brush fire. There's a huge crater in the ground, and there's pieces of a meteorite laying there, okay? And there's a massive brush fire. Authorities suspect that a meteorite strike may have sparked a massive brush fire that scorched the woods behind the Prince George County condo community Sunday evening. The woods behind the Scarlet Oak Terrace, located just off the Maryland Route 450, went up in flames Sunday night around 5 p.m. And it took firefighters with the Bowie Volunteer Fire Department several hours to put the flames under control. Later, firefighters discovered a hunk of what appears to be a meteorite lying at the bottom of a crater in a patch of the earth surrounded by splintered and charred remains of tree limbs. All right. I mean, that's a meteorite, right? Well, wait a minute. Now, that report came out 12 hours ago. 7 hours ago, the Washington Post had to clarify, oh no, we can't have people freaking out thinking that meteorites could hit the earth and create fires and catastrophes. We can't let people start thinking that we're on the verge of the coming apocalypse, because that would also go right along with biblical prophecy. Here's what the Washington Post said. Did a meteorite cause a brush fire in Bowie? Definitely not. And here's why. That's the headlines, Washington Post. Here comes your mainstream media. Here's what they said. A fairly average brush fire Sunday night has led to some wild speculations about its cause, thanks to a crater-like hole in the ground and an interesting-looking rock seen on Twitter. Now, after firefighters in Bowie, Maryland, spent hours putting out the fire, they discovered a hunk of what appears to be a meteorite lying at the bottom of a cratered patch of earth, surrounded by splintered and charred remains of tree limbs. According to CBS News Baltimore, that they're referring to a tweet from a fire department that suggested that a meteorite may have sparked the fire. Don't get me wrong. This is a mystery for sure. We don't know what started the fire, but it wasn't a meteorite. If you don't know, then how can you make that proclamation, dude? Well, because it doesn't fit the narrative. It don't go along with the narrative. We can't start talking about the apocalypse because then NASA will get nervous because they know that there's going to be more and more and more fireballs. They're already hitting all over the earth. And the Planet X and Nibiru and the gravitational pull and the extreme volcanoes, eruptions, the cataclysmic, catastrophic, apocalyptic, chaotic situations that are starting to develop in the atmosphere, stratosphere, ionosphere, in our hemisphere. But to be fair, there's certainly a couple of reasons why someone would even think that there could have been a meteorite. Obviously, for reasons, this was a pretty good, decent-sized crater at the rock, and there was a rock at the bottom of it, and it does look like a meteorite crater, but it couldn't be. Now, get this. So they bring in this guy, Mike Hankey. Mike Hankey, the director of operations at the American Meteor Society. And Mike Hankey, no hanky-panky here. He just says, first off, meteorites don't start forest fires. Okay? Hankey told the Washington Post, a meteor explodes so high in the atmosphere that it's cold when it hits the ground. What has this dude been smoking? Okay, does he not know? Okay, time out. Let's help him out, all right? All right, I'll put all the links down below. Of the 5 most destructive meteor strikes in history, the Tunguska event is the most destructive meteor strike of the 20th century. It occurred in an area so remote that not a single human being was killed, thank God. But the bad news, though, is if you were a pine tree living near the Tunguska in the year of 1908, the Tunguska event leveled over 80 million trees, and the destruction covered almost 850 square miles of remote Siberia, totally blown away, fire scorched, a catastrophic event. Okay, but now you say, well, Paul, all right. How about this? Let's go to 1911, all right? A little more modern times. The cosmic missile shot right through the roof of Mrs. Hodges' home, Alabama. The most destructive meteor strike ever hit Mrs. Elizabeth Hodges in 1911 when a small meteor hit her in the hip. All Hodges wanted to do was just relax and take a nap on the couch of her Alabama home. But a small meteorite traveling untold millions of miles with different plans for her that afternoon. The cosmic missile shot right through the roof of Mrs. Hodges' home, bounced off her radio, and struck her in the upper thigh, causing bruises and an awesome story for her to tell over cocktails. Well, now you say that wasn't, that didn't cause a fire. Let's go to 1945, August 11th, 1945. Let's go to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Right out of an abstract, okay? They put right out of the records, the official records, out of the abstract, all right? I'll put the links below. The headline reads, Meteorite starts a fire. Somebody tell Mr. Hanky, he's the president. Wait a minute, no, Pastor Begley, you're just some little preacher in the cornfields of Indiana. This guy is the director of operations at the American Meteor Society. The meteorite starts a fire, appearing in a technical magazine of good repute, followed by an account that bore all the evidence of a better than average investigation, simulated the writer to make further inquiries. It was found that this account was based on an earlier article entitled A Star Fell in Oklahoma, which appears in the newsletter of the National Fire Protection Association. The story is compiled by the writer from the accounts just cited and from personal communications giving Captain Walter Derrick of Station 5 of Tulsa, Oklahoma Fire Department is quoted as follows. We are sitting in front of a station facing south when suddenly, plummeting from the sky, came a shooting star. It had a brilliant light and fell with a dazzling speed. I remarked to one of the boys that it looked as if it were coming right toward the station. It was only a minute or two later that we received a call that a house at 2765 South Boston Avenue had been set on fire by a star fragment. The fire is recorded as having occurred at 10:20 p.m., August the 11th, 1945. The damaged building is the home of Mr. C.E. Thompson, but at the time of the fire, no one was home, the family having gone to the movies. All right? And the house was caught on fire. But wait! You say that's too, Paul, you're talking about 1908, 1911, 1945, local reports. NASA, Near Earth Object Program, has reports. On September 23rd, 2003, a meteorite fell out of the sky and hit a house in the Big Easy, New Orleans, in Louisiana. An article about the meteorite fall appeared in the Times Picayune on September 27th. here's what it says. And I can give you the links to, I'll put the link below. I forwarded this article to the Meteorite community. Mike Farmer, a Meteorite dealer, was in Arkansas at the time. After seeing the article, he made a quick trip to New Orleans, was able to recover some of the fragments of the meteorite. His photos of the meteorite and the house are here on his website. I'll put the link below. The total weight of the meteorite is estimated 20 kilograms or 44 pounds. The meteorite is being analyzed in a laboratory, and Mike Farmer thinks the meteorite will be classified as an H5 or a common stony chondrite. All right? This large meteorite fell at 4 p.m. on September 23rd, 2003. It fell in downtown New Orleans. A single stone fell through the roof of a house and destroyed an antique wooden desk. It penetrated the upstairs room floor, then entered the downstairs bathroom, narrowly missing the toilet. That would have been a disaster. It then punctured a hole through the bottom of the floor of the house, entering the ground beneath the home, and then shattering into many pieces. The estimated weight of the stone, 44 pounds. Now, Mike Hankey, maybe he was having a bad night. Maybe he didn't want to understand. Maybe he hasn't done his homework. I understand he is the director of operations of American Meteor Society. And really, I'm not picking on Mike Hankey because, he's probably a good guy. But what I am saying, the Washington Post, this is a prime example of worthless journalism. This is supposed to be one of the biggest newspapers in the entire world. And you count on their reporting. And they make fun of us alternative media. They make fun of us radio talk show hosts, conservative radio. They make fun of us alternative media, that we are just wildly speculating and that we're over here and we have no credibility, and anything we say, well, that's just the internet. Well, you might want to spend more time checking out some of us alternative media sources, because we will do our very best. Matter of fact, I'm not bragging, I'm just telling you the fact. You can ask my people who follow me. And I'm not the only one. We get stories out I have breaking stories out before CNN, MSNBC, ABC, Fox News. Look, and they've covered me before. Here's the reason. They have a narrative. They have an agenda. They have to only speak what they're allowed to say. They have to run everything past the White House to make sure it fits the narrative. And right now, reporting on asteroids or reporting on meteorites causing massive fires don't work good when they're covering up already Planet X or Nibiru or the Planet 9. I mean, this is really it's because biblical prophecy told us we're going to encounter more and more and more of these apocalyptic events. I plan on going nowhere but bringing them to you, because I know that ultimately it means Jesus is coming soon. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to Bible prophecy. We're living in the last days. Please, when I tell you Christ is coming, believe me, he's coming. Because many in the media will tell you he doesn't even exist. They don't even want to hear his name mentioned. Are you saved? We're running out of time. We really are.